Hello and welcome to Warframe. My name is Todd, also known as Magi Mech, and this is of course Warframe. We last left off a little bit into the quest Vigil, and I don't see any better place to start than just continuing our quest. So, now that we've completed the first steps of Vigil, we have unlocked the rest of Earth, past Cetus. We can go explore these other areas, but I'm gonna continue with the quest to start off. I will explain a little bit more about the free roaming in the plains of Eidolon in a bit, but for now, let's just head on to Vigil. Let's see. So, after last time's success, I think we're doing pretty good on time-wise. Hopefully we don't get slowed up in this quest and don't lag out too much in the, oh dear, in that little loading zone.
Saya, Chronometa, let me help. I was there. I might be able to.
Oh, you were there all right, Konzu. You both went out on the plains that day, but only you returned. You expect me to believe this had nothing to do with what happened in our early summers? When I rejected your iron flower, your proposal?
Iron flower? I can't hear this. You know I had nothing to do with his... I miss him too, Saya.
Maybe a little bit of intrigue here in our quest. But somehow I think this will play into the story a little bit. Or that could just be the foresight talking. Good old Grenier. Never as difficult as they could be. Easily dealt with. Another extremist enemy, another one towards our junction. Of course, the Arctic extremist, as you just saw, has like a shield that you can break by doing damage, or you could just walk into it and do damage straight to him. They do also slow you down when you're near them. Some minor notes about the Grenier structures out in the plains are, of course, you've got these storage lockers. They're effectively the same as any other storage lockers. They just have some resources in them. You've got some specialty resources just for the plains, like rocket roll, which it does play into some quests here and there, but or I should say missions, but not in this one. At least not yet. And of course you just got minor little flavor buildings, which really don't do much unless they're a part of a quest. It is probably worth it to open these storage containers if you see them. Plains resources tend to be rather rare most of the time. And farming them is a bit of a pain just because of how big the plains of Eidolon is. Or would that be how big the plains of Eidolon are? Grammar and all that. I'm sure with the amount of times I've flubbed words, nobody's really expecting me to be a grammar major here. Most certainly not an English teacher. And I don't think I would make a very good one either. Though I did definitely just teach this Grenier a new meaning of the word pain.
Equip your codex scanner and search the area for the glass shards we need.
So now we can equip gear and kind of show that off a little bit. If you open your gear menu, for me it's V. You can change it in the key bindings menu, of course. It opens the gear menu, which is this wheel here, which shows off our codec scanner. Let me deal with Dagrin. Where is he? He was shooting me. There he is. It's always got to be a problem. A bow is definitely not the best weapon for dealing with aerial targets. The amount of leading you have to do and the lag between shots definitely doesn't help. I'm trying to explain this. You guys are causing me problems. Fast firing weapons or instantaneous weapons are much better for this sort of thing. I think my kunai just aren't reaching far enough. If I can hit him, maybe my shock will be better. Shock, your first ability for Volt, is I think a hit scan weapon, which just means that it hits instantly rather than having a travel time. Anyway, the gear wheel, which again for me is V, you can change it to whatever you want. It can be filled up here. And I didn't put our health kits or our energy or our ciphers in just yet because I kind of wanted to show it off before I did that. There's also the emote side of things, which allows you to do emotes so you can interact with people, but for now let's just equip our codec scanner. And this replaces our weapons. We can switch back to our normal weapons by pressing F, but we won't need it. Codec scanner is pretty self-explanatory. It allows you to look at items and scan them by holding left mouse. So you look down through the codec scanner by the same way you would look down a weapon, or aim down sights, and then you scan by just, effectively shooting at it, or just pressing left click.
Excellent, Tenor. There should be more in this area.
So we found one of the things we need. You can scan everything from containers to enemies to even special items in the world, but our main goal here is to just find the glass shards.
You found another shard. Keep looking.
If I remember correctly, this last one's kind of a pain to find. I'm not sure how good it comes in through the video, but the codec scanner does also beep when they're, or like pulse to show you different things, and you can see enemies through walls with the codec scanner. So if you're trying to stealth an area and you can't really see enemies very well, the codec scanner can help for that. But there's our last
That's it. There's no more shards here.
Spread out! Crawl if you have to! I need more glass! It is the key to a power I've never seen! The power to kill a sentient!
Well, Vahek might think so. Truthfully, it is our key to find a new Warframe. While we may not get that Warframe right off the bat, it is a very good Warframe, and she's very good at defense, the like.
Grenier air support incoming.
Boy.
Look what we have here! More fertilizer for our Grenier gardens! Your worm-bloated corpse will blend nicely with the excrement on my crops.
I can't extract you until you've dealt with those reinforcements.
They're really sending everything at us here. The Volcors are quite a tough enemy to deal with because they're aerial units. They have lots and lots of health and whatnot, but we can show off the Dagrin piloting by jumping in one, hopefully not dying right away. Dagrins do a good amount of damage. Achievement for that. They're much more suited for dealing with these aerial units like this. Hopefully we can get closer to the ground though before our Dagrin blows up. Deal with these guys. Oh. So effectively, when your Dagrin blows up, you get thrown out of it. You're not killed, thankfully. So it is always fun to use those, plus it gives you a second chance.
Get to extraction.
You don't have to worry about dying. And you know, it's just fun to pilot around. Has a basic machine gun, you can fly it pretty much similarly to how you control Warframe. You go up with space, down with control. Rather self-explanatory for most, you know, vehicles in video games. I'm not sure if it has a sprint function, but I think it might with just by pressing shift. Vahek did mention one thing that we haven't run across yet, and that would be sentience. They're an enemy that we'll probably see eventually if we do a little bit of exploring on the plains, but hopefully we won't have to deal with them right away because I don't think we're really equipped for it. Good. We've completed a good amount of the lock now. This does mean that we are sufficiently equipped, but there's still more to go.
What was Vahek talking about back there? What power is he after?
Anko. He found the remains of the Unum's champion, a woman of glass. He studied her, obsessed about her ancient secrets. The Quills of Cetus swore us to secrecy, and the secret held until the Granir captured one. Can't imagine what they did to get one of them to talk. But Vahek's been after that relic ever since.
Ayo, this Vahek. Could he have taken Uncle prisoner too? Do you think he'd make a trade? This coffer for my uncle? No. That would go against everything Uncle believed in. The sanctity of our people's home, of Cetus. Tenno, you'll need to find the remaining shards.
I've tracked some off-world shipments to a galleon in orbit. Heck may be guarding any key shards he's found up there.
And he most certainly is. We'll deal with boarding onto Hex Galleon here soon. But let's take a look and see what kind of mods we've got. We are still trying to get a certain amount of mods equipped to our weapons or Warframe so we can get through that junction. Doesn't seem we have any or enough mods to be able to do that just yet. So, without further ado, we'll just jump on to Hex Galleon. Let's see, there it is. Let's go rescue someone. So, when it comes to dealing with sentience and the like, they do require a special type of damage to be able to truly damage
Something's
sentience.
wrong. My scans are being blocked. I can't detect any shards.
And that type of
What
damage we
does
cannot
that
do yet.
mean? This galleon is huge. Think.
Anko would have known what to do.
Each fragment responds to a unique harmonic. We discovered that during my initial work on Cetus's transceiver system. It's too bad we can't walk a wideband harmonic through the ship.
Who says we can't? I'll perform a broad frequency sweep.
Saya, that worked! Onko wasn't the only one with a sharp mind. We are elevated by your work and his. Your marriage was a boon to Cetus.
It wasn't always easy. Cetus came first. Always. Things were missed. Special days. Anniversaries. But it was a duty and a privilege.
You would have think they would have noticed that, or that this heavy gunner would have noticed the dude flying in front of them.
Interval, such a gift. But I have a surprise for you. You greasy metal maggot!
Vahek is definitely one with a way with words, unlike me. There have been lots of memes and jokes about him and the way he talks. Especially that birth interval one. That's a good one. But I think we're kind of kicking the hornet's nest now. I think they've noticed we're here, but I think we can deal with most of them. Shouldn't be too difficult. And I'm not super worried about Vahek's surprise. I mean, what's it going to be? A big present with a bow on it? In the meantime, though, let's get some wicked sick shots off. And hopefully not get locked in too much. You are a really bad sniper, lady. You could not hit the broadside of a barn. Those ballistas used to do a good enough amount of damage to be quite scary at certain points, but now they're just rather inconsequential. Let's just go ahead and reset the alarms too while we're at it. Hopefully get less intrusion. Oh, and again, I forgot to equip my health pack and energy. I'll have to make sure to do that after this mission.
Surprise, surprise! A gleaming maggot squirmed into my ship. Well, let's see you slip out of this one.
Oh dear. An enemy that is very dangerous just appeared. Noxes. I will try to get a good look at them, but I don't want to get killed. Noxes are almost as dangerous as bombards. There we go. They're guys with giant fishbowls on their heads, but they shoot toxic sludge, and they're very dangerous because they have large amounts of health. And have very damaging attacks. Toxin damage does damage straight to your health, bypassing shields.
What? You pathetic meat piles! Can't you stop one puny maggot from squirming away? Ah!
Not this time, heck. The Nox was easily dealt with. They're very easy to deal with because that fishbowl ounce acts like their head, effectively, meaning they're very easy to headshot until it breaks. Once it breaks, they go into kind of a berserker mode, which is quite dangerous. They will charge at you and tend to be far more aggressive, and their head hitbox becomes much smaller at that point. I wonder, can we just scan it right through this window? We can, huh.
Tenno, we've recovered all of the shards.
Guess we
Vahek
can just
discovered.
bypass this.
Get to extraction.
Typically you would have to deal with this area as similar to a spy mission, but I guess we're not going to have to do that this time around. Let's see. So there are quite a few enemies that deal in toxic damage, but Noxes are the only, I think the only Grineer unit that really uses it, aside from extremist enemies. They are very dangerous in their own way, though. Especially if you ever run into a extremist Nox. It's definitely not something you want to go toe-to-toe with without being ready first. With our quick and stealthy motions, though, making it through here just fine, and resetting those alarms really helped us out there at the beginning. I suppose I should also be thanking the fact that most enemies in Warframe are kind of brain dead. Though I think that might have to do with the fact that they're messed up clones. And just like that, we have our glass piece. I don't know if that's the last piece, but hey, progress is progress. Looks like we might still have a couple more pieces to go.
There's only one piece left. Heck's digging in the Central Plains. I recall Uncle finding a few interesting artifacts in the region of...
That crater lake where we used to fish. That place where Uncle's catch got eaten on the line by a...
Oh, that massive hookta. And we had to haul him out. We spent the whole day drying his notebooks. That was a good day. I think I know where we should look. Doha, Doha! While it is dark, the Grenier won't be there.
But there will probably be sentience. Let's go find this last piece. Should of course be noted that if you ever need to do a mission, you can still do the mission that's on the bottom there, and pretty much every special objective functions that same way. If you still need to just, you know, farm a map or find a special resource, but you don't want to do the specialty quest because it might be too difficult or time consuming. Well, Lotus.
I'll never know what happened to him. I don't even want to open that box now. It won't change a thing.
I wouldn't blame you if you turned back.
No. I need to know.
Evacuation flights have been rescinded. You'll stay out here all night, if that's what it takes. Find that piece before an Eidolon finds you!
It seems we're going to run into one of them.
The Eidolons are all that remains of the great sentient destroyed here. At night, its spirit rises and haunts, a mindless beast trying to rebuild itself. Watch out. If you see one, don't fight it. You can only run.
We definitely aren't equipped to fight an Eidolon at this moment. But one day. And of course I've got to tell you about that and then
Tenno,
spawn
take
one.
cover. Your Warframe is no match for that thing.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Kill it!
I think they might have a problem or two trying to kill an Eidolon. As you can see, they are no small enemy, and his small tusk lancers aren't doing great.
Can you get to the excavation site? It has to be in there.
At this moment, running seems to be the best choice. Oh dear. Ouchie. Well, the Eidolon is certainly something to be feared, but thankfully we can just pop back up and run into this cave. let us equip our codex scanner, and
You have
there
it.
we go.
Uncle's final piece to the shutter lock.
There's another way out of that cave, away from the terrorist.
Tenno, I'm having Ordis pull you out. Get to the extraction point.
Probably should have moved the rock.
You think it would be that easy? Tusks! My tusks! New orders! Ignore the monster! Stop that Tenno maggot!
Probably should have moved that rock before we attempted to scan the glass shard, but it worked out anyway. You guys have fun dealing with the Eidolon. I'm just gonna run away. Bounty failed. Huh. I wonder if that was a glitch? Was I not supposed to do that? I think that might have been a glitch.
Konzo, you should know. You were the best friend he ever had. I'm ready. Open the box.
Sire, you kept my flower.
Oh, Uncle. You always told me I should try following my heart instead of my head. Shola, I guess it's time I did.
And with that twist ending, I suppose we move on. So that is the end of Saya's Vigil. It's a pretty straightforward quest. Thankfully not too much went wrong. That glitch there at the end made me a little bit worried, but we're good. And we've now unlocked the ability to get Gara. She's a great Warframe for defense. Don't know if we'll be able to get her right off the bat, but we'll take a look at her requirements and see what we can do. We do have to do quite a few bounties to be able to get her parts, which we may or may not have the time to do.
Using Saya's idea, I pulsed Onko's glass we recovered with a frequency sweep. It took some time to decode the harmonics in the signal, but there was something there. A blueprint for Gara, the one they called the Glass Warrior. This is what Onko was protecting. Resurrect Gara, that she might protect Cetus once more.
Forgive me for pronouncing her name wrong. I guess it's Gara, not Gara. Well, and that ends Saya's Vigil, I believe. Yes, so we've completed Saya's Vigil. We do have the blueprint for Gara. Let's go take a look. So when it comes to Warframe blueprints, each Warframe will require neuroptics, a chassis, and systems, plus one other resource. For Gara, it's Orokin cells. Now, we don't necessarily have all those parts, and typically for the neuroptics, chassis, and systems, there will be another blueprint which we'll have to craft. Then we can craft the Warframe itself. For now, we really don't need to focus on Gara, because there are many other things we can do at the moment. Our main focus, of course, is completing the star chart and getting all the quests done, so we can head forward and do some basic missions to get towards the Mars Junction and complete a couple other points. So we will start by heading towards the Mars Junction and doing some mobile defense. So, to explain mobile defense missions, they effectively run the same as...
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
Just like Lotus said, these require us to deliver payloads, so we pick up objects the same as we would with an excavation, and deliver them to computer terminals, which we will then defend. And these missions are not endless like normal defense missions. They are just basically you have to complete a certain number of them.
Terminal. Proceed and prepare.
And for this mission in particular, we have to complete 3 defenses of each terminal. We're also running across regulators. Regulators are just floating enemies. I believe they might give a buff to Grineer, but aside from that, I don't think they do anything else. They don't attack. They may detect you stealth-wise, which might be problematic.
Terminal spotted. Upload me and prepare to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
Well, we did get a new mod, but that new mod is for a shotgun, which we currently don't have. Hopefully we can definitely... Hopefully, yeah, we can, that is, get some new mods for weapons and or Warframe. And complete the junction a little bit sooner than needing to grind.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
So I don't know if I explained in very good detail about the moves or combos that can be completed with a melee weapon. So it should be noticed that of course you can jump up in the air and do a slam attack, which does a good amount of damage, plus depending on what weapon you're using can knock down an enemy. There's also, if you do a slide attack with a melee weapon, you do a spin, which attacks in 360 degrees around you. Very useful for knocking out a big group of enemies or just hitting an enemy as you're running by them. And there are other combos and combo chains that you can get through a specific type of mod called a stance, which will be later detailed in melee combos, but we don't currently have any stances. Some new areas here. Nice tile set.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend.
So, with the different
I'm in,
areas
Tenno. This will take a moment.
and different missions, we'll have different tile sets. Of course, I believe I explained that these are randomized. As you progress in the game, you'll see more and more different styles, and they also add new ones every now and then, which kind of differentiate each mission, making it not so repetitive. It should also be noted that you
Continue to defend.
can block while attacking. You don't technically block any damage while attacking, but you can hold the block button and attack, and that is a type of melee combo for some stances. Then again, melee combos and stances are reportedly getting an entirely new update soon, which the developers of Warframe have referred to as Melee 3.0.
We are finished here. Move on.
It's meant to be more streamlined, but for now, Melee I think is just fine. If not a bit repetitive. Regardless, it gets the job done.
Location reached. Drop me in and defend our position.
It should be
I'm
noted
in, Tenno.
that the
This will take a moment.
defense objective
Watch yourself. Grineer are on the way.
does not become active until you install the database. So you can prevent damage to the defense objective if you're in a party by allowing all of your party reach the defense objective before you install the datamass. Though most people don't bother to wait.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
is quite nice not hearing Vahek yell into my ear anymore. Just doing a normal mission with Lotus and maybe Ordis down the road.
The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete.
So, it's pretty self-explanatory. When the mission completes, the data mass is kind of absorbed into the computer. It just goes away. You don't have to worry about it anymore and just have to get to the end. Mobile defense is not extremely difficult to understand and relatively simple. It can get more progressively harder as they add more places to defend or the enemies become more difficult, but for now it's pretty simple. And with that, I think we'll probably end off the video for now. I think we've completed a good amount of stuff in the time we've had. We completed Saya's Vigil, and we explored a little bit more of the solar map. Until next time, when we explore the rest of the nodes that we're able to, and maybe see a little bit of stuff that we've never seen before. Still working our way towards dealing with that Venus junction. I guess I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.